Akkerman's GBM installation process can be broken down into 3 distinct steps. To begin, launch and reception pits are strategically located to minimize surface disruption. The first step is the installation of the pilot tube on line and grade. The pilot tube is a 4-inch diameter tube that is pushed through the ground from the launch pit to the reception pit. On the leading end of the pilot tube is the steering head with an angled tip. In the steering head is a battery-powered illuminating target that is visible to the operator by means of a theodolite camera and monitor. The theodolite is set on line and grade and is positioned to view the target through the center of the pilot tube with the crosshairs of the theodolite visible on the monitor along with the illuminated target. The operator rotates the steering head as needed to maintain a desired line and grade. This step is complete when the steering head reaches the reception pit. The pilot tubes are a dual-wall tube design. This provides a means to lubricate the pilot shaft and the ground around it. This lubrication reduces the force required to thrust and rotate during installation. An added advantage of the dual-wall pilot tube is that Akkerman can install tubes directly into rock applications with the Halco Storm 500 rock hammer. Compressed air provides pneumatic power to the impact hammer tip and returns cuttings back to the launch shaft through the borehole via exhausted air from the tip. Step 2 is to follow the pilot tube with the reaming head or cutter head and bearing swivel joint to match the diameter of the product pipe. Different types of tooling are available for various ground conditions. The reaming head, temporary casings, and augers are attached to the pilot tube, and the jacking frame advances the reaming head and temporary casings into the ground. With the addition of each section of temporary casing in the launch pit, a section of pilot tube is removed in the reception pit. The process continues until the temporary casings and augers reach the reception pit, at which point all the pilot tube sections have been removed. Spoils are removed during the installation of the temporary casings and augers. The spoil is transported by the augers back to the launch pit and into a dirt bucket. The dirt bucket is removed and emptied after each temporary casing and auger is installed. Step 3 is the installation of the product pipe. A pipe adapter is installed on the last section of auger casing to match the product pipe. As the product pipe is thrust into place, the auger casings are removed from the reception pit. This process continues until the product pipe reaches the reception pit. With the installation of the product pipe, the job is complete with minimal impact and disruption to activities in the immediate area. Contractors installing pipe larger than 20-inch outside diameter now have a more effective pipeline installation option when using the Akkerman guided boring method. Previously, contractors installing larger pipes used a 2-pass method of installing smaller diameter augers and temporary casings supported by temporary casing spacers. This method was both time-consuming and costly. Now, contractors using the Akkerman guided boring method can use Akkerman's powered cutter head to install larger diameter pipes with greater ease and accuracy. The powered cutter head proceeds as a 3-pass method. First, as described earlier, pilot tubes are installed using the guided boring machine frame and guidance system. Second, the bore diameter is increased to approximately 11 inches by installing temporary casings and augers. Finally, the powered cutter head is installed behind the temporary casings and the auger flow direction is reversed toward the reception shaft. The powered cutter head is connected to the hydraulic supply of the power unit and thrust into the soils. The rotating cutter bit excavates the soil to the diameter necessary for the product pipe. Spoils are then transported through the temporary casings to the reception shaft, and the new pipe sections are added as needed in the launch shaft. When the powered cutter head reaches the reception shaft, the hydraulic supply hoses are disconnected and removed from within the pipeline. The cutter head is lifted out of the reception shaft. And the bore is complete.